Hi there guys, in this video I'm going to explain some of the things we're kind of expecting to see in version 2.2 of Elite and Dangerous. I originally created a video for this a few days back, but I've deleted it just recently because I felt it wasn't that greatly done. Main reason is that the microphone I had, or have at the moment, I could only get it on one side, only on the left side, and I felt it didn't really give you a proper audio. So now I've actually got a cable sorted so I can get it done correctly. I felt I should redo it, so hopefully it should be a little bit more clearer. Like I said, obviously in a video when you talk about things, if it's kind of not very clear, then that kind of doesn't really help you. So hopefully guys, that explains why this video has been kind of redone. Anyway, so let's get into the sort of features we're going to expect in version 2.2. Obviously the big point of version 2.2 is going to be the ship launch fighters. My own thoughts on this is I'm not too sure how they're going to play out. I mean, on the surface level they sound quite a good idea, being able to sort of create a diversionary ship. However, I do wonder if it's going to be a bit of a gimmick. Something you're going to play with a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of hours, and then think, well, what's the point? My reasons behind this is that when you're actually trading, you're probably going to favour cargo space rather than a defensive ship. You're going to take your odds and go for the extra space. If you're attacking somebody, then, like player versus player, essentially these extra fighters are going to cause more spam also on the radar, and it's going to confuse people more. And the other thing is that because you can actually do it, is switch over control, you're going to leave your base ship vulnerable, which is something I'm not very keen on. I'd rather keep my base ship protected. So I don't know, until we actually get to try ship launch fighters, I'm not too sure how it's going to work and how useful it is going to be to the gameplay. Maybe I'm completely wrong and it's going to be very, very useful. Hopefully it will be. Like I said, so after that we've got some other cosmetic changes. The next thing, we've got some stations that are going to look a little bit different, so that's quite welcome. I'll show you the videos that Frontier have done on this. I mean, the only content we've got is basically what Frontier have provided on their YouTube channel at the moment. There is no beta, so we can't really look at it ourselves. We get the passenger missions, which I'm not totally sure how I feel about them. I mean, they've been introduced very late into the game. I'll show you their video later as well, but in their video they're only showing rewards of like 5,000 credits, which seems pretty low. Maybe that's just because it's a beta as such, don't know, but hopefully that's different. They've added a new ship called the Beluga. Now this ship is for transporting passengers. It looks like a fairly big ship, but whether it can transport cargo and stuff like that, it looks like it's based on the Imperial design. Again, I'll show you that a little bit later. We did get a mention of a capital ship dock, which I don't know if it's been in the game already. However, it seems to imply that maybe they're going to make a bit more thing about capital ships, because at the moment they're very kind of scarce. I've never seen one myself, which is a bit of a shame. And one other feature, they called it NPC, crew and switching fighter, but that feature kind of basically means you can switch control between your fighter and your base ship. It's kind of not that big a feature in a sense. Another thing we're getting is the ability to transfer ships. So if you've got a ship, say, parked in Seoul, and you're in, say, Lav, or Lave, however you pronounce it exactly, that you can pay money and get it transported to the station you're at. I think this is a good feature, but I do think there should be a delay on it. I think you shouldn't be able to get an instant transfer. Again, I can show you that in the video. So that's kind of some of the big points. The other little point, I suppose, is the route planning. You'll be able to sort of say, avoid these type of systems, which is a nice feature, but it's not going to give you a big change to the game, but it's going to be a nice sort of change. Right, so let's have a look at some of the Frontiers videos, which press the wrong button. So here we go on to Frontier's own YouTube channel. So there's the Beluga ship. So like I said, it's an Imperial kind of design ship with the white colour scheme. It looks pretty big, to be honest, but I guess it's kind of hard to tell because there's no direct sort of comparison, but it kind of looks big. I mean, obviously 3 seats there, there's implies it's going to be quite a large. Whether it can transport cargo, I don't know. Maybe it might be another trade ship. Like I said, there should be as well, hopefully, a federal version if they're going to do passenger missions. I know we got the Orca, but the Orca don't seem to be such a big ship. This seems to be larger, so whether they're going to be lots more. Hopefully there's not just going to be one ship added. So what else we got? So that's these about the passenger missions. So obviously we're going to get a bit of overhead changes to. Let's go back a little bit. We're going to get a little bit changes to the interface. It's not a huge change, but you can see there's a few things being moved about. As you can see on the left, we've got the passenger lounge. So this is what I mean by the sort of bulletin board style missions. These are people obviously on the left, I think, are asking you to transport them. Frontier have said there's going to be a range of sort of missions. They're going to be like transporting one person, it could be transporting 2 or 3, or a big group of people, and they're going to vary in what they actually kind of like their wealth. So you're going to get people who are quite poor, you're going to get VIPs and all in between. The only thing that, like I said, straight away at face value when you see this video is the actual rewards. I mean, hopefully that is just the beta thing, you know, in-game sort of in-house production sort of version, because hopefully they'll be offering more than 5,000 credits. So if we jumped in a little bit more, the passengers are going to be, as I said, have different requirements. You're going to have these different classes on your ship, so you can have economy, luxury and all that lot, and obviously depending on who you're transporting and what they want, they have to go in certain positions. I don't know how this is going to be handled exactly, and I'm guessing a ship like the Orca is going to get this kind of feature added. Whether you'll be able to transport people in non-passenger ships, I don't know either. Again, like I said, until we get access to a beta, we can't test or work out this stuff for ourselves. We're only just working on what Frontier are actually showing us on our YouTube channel for now. And again, I don't know exactly when this is going to come out. I would gather this is going to be fairly soon. So there's about the ship launch fighters, which you've probably seen about. Like I said, I'm in a bit of a mixed thing. Like I said, maybe you want to leave your comments on them. Maybe you think they're a really good feature of the game, something that's been missing, or do you think they're going to be confusing and make it sort of like don't know what to shoot and stuff like that. I'd like to know what you think about this, because I don't know which way to think about this. I don't know if it's going to be a gimmick or it's going to be a good thing. The station's interiors, which is something is very welcomed. So now this is how one of the luxury kind of stations or tourism place looks, and instead of just looking kind of a bit drab, now we're seeing plants and trees, a lot more kind of going on. To me it kind of adds a lot more sort of different life to it. I mean, it's something that was kind of missing for a long time. So this is the sort of like tourism place. Obviously you probably won't see it in this sort of close, obviously you'll be driving into it if you are. And so there's some statues there. So yeah, I guess in this area there's oxygen and such, so people can breathe, I guess. I don't see actually any physical people walking about. So yeah, you won't be able to get a view down that close. So yeah, that is the kind of tourism place. So if you're going to have a look at another one which they provided, the other one is kind of an industrial area. This is obviously, like I said, is a bit more, well, it's a lot lower sort of tech as such. It's more about mining and all that lot. And like you can see it's got a different film to it. It's even got different little modules in it, so you can see little lava and all that lot. Obviously, like I said, you're not going to see it in this close detail usually, because you're going to be actually probably smashing into it or so. But yeah, I think this is a very nice change. Whilst it's not going to be something that changes the gameplay necessarily, it's still going to make it look and feel a bit better. For me, a lot of the stations looked all the same, and after you've flown in and out of them a couple of hundred times, you kind of don't pay much attention to the actual station interior much. So this will add another depth to that, and that's a very welcome change. There's about the route planner, which is, like I said, more of a minor feature to me. And as you see on here on the left, you can actually filter the route planner so it takes a different route, so it doesn't go into certain areas like Federation or Empire. Like I said, I can't see this being a big game changer, but it could be useful in some circumstances. I'm not too sure exactly where you would use it, because if you go into a federal place and you don't want to, you can use a jump back out. Maybe it might be good for finding somewhere to land. But nevertheless, this is something that I could see quite useful for some people. Here's about the capital ship dock that they showed. So it would imply that the capital ships are going to be a bit more pronounced in the game. Hopefully they are, because there is kind of feeling a bit of a lack of them. Like I said, I don't think this has been something that's in the game before, the actual dock. Whether you can visit it and land on it, I don't know. Hopefully there's going to be a bit more than just a ship docked at it. There is rumours that they're saying that we're going to start finding alien life a bit more. I mean, apparently some people are actually finding stuff right out in the middle of nowhere. So hopefully this is a gear towards that. What else we got? The ship transfer system. In their video they show they're in Miller something or other, and they go to this last tab down here, and this is all the ships they've got, and you can see there's a fee on the right hand side, which when you look at the fee thing, I judge it just trying to work out the beluga price. And if we say the ASP is around 6 million, roughly, it could be more I suppose, you can see it's going to be roughly, say, 10 times that, maybe a little bit more obviously, but say 10 times that. So I'm guessing the beluga is going to be around about 60 million, just going by that. But anyway, so yeah, this is the ship transfer system. So he's going to transfer a sidewinder, which is 6 light years. See, and what I mean in this is that the transfer is pretty instantaneous, and I'd like to see a delay. I would like to see the delay based on distance. So if, for example, you're transporting a ship, say 6 light years, you wait, say, 2 or 3 minutes. If you're transporting a ship from, say, 12 or 20 light years, maybe you wait 10 minutes for it. If you're transporting a ship from like 50 or 100 light years, maybe you might have to wait half an hour or something, or 30 minutes. This is the reason behind that, is that I'd like to see is that somebody, if they go and get attacked, they're going to land at the station straight away. They're just going to get their biggest ship and bring it straight towards them, and then they can go straight out and attack the person who attacked them. It's just sort of a bit of a balancing thing. If it was half an hour, then obviously they can't get the big ship straight away, and they could have to sort of try and get out of the system or something like that. It gives a bit more tactics to it, rather than just being able to buy your ship straight towards you. but I think in whole it's a good feature, something it is useful. You kind of, if you're like me, you buy a few ships and you end up getting stuck in a certain kind of area. For me, I've put my ships in Founder's World, so every time I want to change ship I have to go all the way back there. It would be so much nicer if I could just move my ships to a new location, and this feature would offer that. Like I said, I could see it being a little bit exploited with swapping ships, with people attacking other players. Again, I still would like to see a co-op mode. That's something that isn't in the game yet, and I feel it's something that should be in the game, because there is that big group that's got massive, and it kind of suggests that people do want it, and I'd like to see that feature in the game. How it would work I'm not totally sure, but that's not for me to tell. So as we obviously, I'm not a big fan of all these paint jobs. Okay, we don't have to buy them, but I do find they're a bit expensive really for what they offer. Have I don't think I've really missed anything to go by. I mean, passenger missions are supposed to, like I said, some of the ones in that example, without finding where it is, you get people, if they're like luxury or VIPs, they ask you, and you might be in the middle of the mission, to suddenly go to a different place. It's because they want to have a look at something. Like I said, it's kind of, for me, a little bit like the missions as such, and you're just using potentially different ships. I could show you the ship crew swapping. So in their example, they're showing this miner who's just going about their business, and suddenly somebody else comes about, and you can see on the radar down the bottom they've got the guns out. So now they're suddenly attacking this miner. So let's just go back a sec. So this miner has a page down here. You can see under SRV we have a couple of options which are quite new. We have switch to fighter, we have recall fighter, we have defensive, aggressive, hold fire, stay put and focus. So these are commands for our fighter should we want to stay in the base ship. So obviously you can tell it to be defensive or aggressive, go attack things. So then, like I said, you can see on the radar there's another green. I'm guessing that is your ship launch. So I think around about here. On this page you've got an option to switch to fighter, so they show you switching between your main ship and your fighter. Again, how useful this be, I don't know. I think the thing around what happens when you get destroyed, I think if the fighter gets destroyed you just go back to your main ship, but I would think if your base ship gets destroyed you should stay in the fighter. That's something I don't know, whether the fighter would be strong enough to get back home. Could be it's some sort of like an escape pod you might be able to use it for. Although looking at the bottom right you can look at the fuel level and it says there's no fuel being used and there's no fuel, so whether it's a very short term vessel I don't know. Whether it can hyperspace as well, we don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a gimmick. It might be very useful, I don't know. So I think that's kind of covered most of the main points of 2.2. I would expect... Is that another... hang on. There's another spaceship interior that I haven't actually seen myself. So this is an agriculture sort of place. So I guess farming and stuff like that. So I guess with this changing, they basically just changed the modules. The pads are going to be pretty much the same, just they're going to change the actual, like the bits they plug in, which is something I kind of don't know why, if they were capable of doing it earlier, why it wasn't done at the launch start of the game really. I don't know why it took so long to actually get these different modules in. can't remember what ship that is. I keep thinking it's not a Viper, is it? So let's just have a quick look, see if I haven't missed anything. See, the paint jobs aren't very exciting to me. It can be nice, but that's not something I do. No, I think that's about it. So guys, that's what we're going to expect in version 2.2. Like I said, there's going to be quite a lot of changes. It's not just about the ships. I'm not going to get a good view there, am I? Yes. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of changes to expect. Like I said, whether they're going to offer some really good functionality to the game, I don't know. I said the space ship launchers, maybe it's a gimmick, maybe it's something good, I'm not too sure. The passenger missions, hopefully the rewards are going to be something good. Maybe they could actually even be unique awards or something, but hopefully if they do something like that, it isn't going to be like power play rewards that were kind of mostly poof. The route planner is nice, but I personally wouldn't use the filter much. Just go to the place and jump somewhere else if I have to, but it might be useful in certain circumstances. Like I said, the graphics is a nice thing, definitely give a different feel to the game. Like I said, it's something I would think should have been there from the start, because it does make a difference and it makes it feel different. The capital ship docks, hopefully that imply there's going to be more capital ships around or some more activity. The ship transfer system, yeah, I could see that being very useful. Obviously, like I said, you end up being stuck in one area. Being able to move around a bit easier does help. The multi-crew switching is just basically being able to switch between your fighter and the base ship. That's kind of not a big feature as such. But anyway guys, hopefully that gives you an idea of what's in 2.2. Hopefully this time the audio is a bit better, because like I said, I didn't have the proper cables, and like I said, I didn't feel the video was quite fair to you guys because the audio was a bit lacking, so hopefully this time it's a lot better. If you have any comments or suggestions about any of the features in 2.2 or so, please let me know below. That'd be interesting to let me know what you think. If you like the video, like it, that always helps me. Subscribing also, that's a big help. Thanks guys for watching, hope you have fun and take care.